Okay, let's talk about the wonders of batch cooking. Batch cooking is a cooking technique. The idea of batch cooking is you are going to prepare the basic, simple, single ingredient foods in bulk. So think of the main portions of your meals. Those are going to be your proteins, your carbohydrates, and you can even do this with veggies and extra add-ons that you like in your meals. Batch cooking saves you time. Ideally, you're going to cook at home, hopefully 2 to 3 times a week. But even if it's just one time a week, you're already cooking, you're already getting the dishes dirty, you're already spending the time over the stove. So you might as well make a little bit more that then you can store in containers in the fridge and you can access throughout the week. Think of batch cooking as your saving grace when it's a Wednesday and you are running around and you have no idea what you're going to eat. And instead of going to takeout, you know that you can quickly assemble a meal in 5 to 10 minutes because you already have the staples cooked. The ones that take a longer time, You're not going to cook potatoes in the oven in the middle of the week. It's just not going to happen. But if you have them already prepared, then you can access them and you can rely on them. This is a different cooking technique than meal prepping. Meal prepping is going to be a little bit more of an investment. Meal prepping, you are making individual meals and you're putting them into individual containers, right? Batch cooking, you are just cooking the main portions, the main simple ingredients, but you're doing so in bulk. So this is just kind of a quick chart. I just pulled some of the main foods that I eat throughout the week. So if you want to take a screenshot of this, you totally can. If you want to talk about it later, with me, just send me a message. But pick a protein: turkey, chicken, tofu, ground beef, fish if you'd like, whatever you prefer. And then do a carb, rice, pasta, potatoes, sweet potatoes, quinoa. And then I like to add a veggie or an extra because if I cook it in bulk and I have it prepared, I'm going to eat it. Whereas if it's sitting in its package in the fridge and it's still uncooked, there's a less likelihood that I'm going to use it and I'm going to eat it. So kale is a great one to cook in bulk. Beans, instead of making 1 can of beans the night of, make like 2 to 3 cans of beans. So you have them already accessible and you can add them to all your meals. Brussels sprouts, edamame. I mean, come on, the list goes on and on. This is where you can use your creativity, your preferences to add variety and to add things that you're going to be able to rely on. So just a quick little example of how I utilize this. So this is the basics plus the add-ons. So the basics are the rice and the chicken. Let's say that it was a Monday night and I'm cooking rice, and instead of doing 1 cup, which would be plenty for that night, I'm going to do 3 cups of uncooked rice, which is a bunch of rice. But then I can access that rice for lunches and for dinners in the coming days. Same thing with chicken. Instead of doing 1 pound of chicken, which again would be fine, I'm going to do 2 pounds of chicken. And in this example, I did the chicken in the crock pot. Just put it in the crock pot 5-6 hours, shred it up. It lasts a little bit longer. It goes a little bit further. So I pull out the bulk items that I already prepared. These are kind of the main portions of the meal. And again, I'm stressed. I'm rushed. I don't have a lot of time. So I'm going to have my rice and my chicken. And then I got the add-ons. So here I have an avocado and a tomato and shredded carrots. Real simple to prepare. They're basically already ready. I'm going to throw those in there. That's going to give me micronutrients. That's going to just add color and different textures to my meal. That's going to fill me up more. And then I'm going to add in cotija cheese, which is a personal favorite of mine. It's about 8 grams of protein, around 110 calories. And again, it just kind of makes the meal feel a little bit fuller. Same thing with the hemp hearts. Hemp hearts are a great source of healthy fats and some additional protein. For sauces, real simple. It takes 2 seconds to throw some sriracha and some mayo on there. So now you look at this meal and instead of it just being rice and chicken, right? Now it is a very well-rounded, full meal. That probably took me 5 to 10 minutes, but I wouldn't have been able to do it if I didn't already have the rice and the chicken prepared. And that's kind of the take-home message here. Is again, think a few days ahead of time. Right? When it's a Monday and everything's all chill and you're kind of taking your time, that's a great time to batch cook some of the simple ingredients that you can rely on and have them in bulk in your fridge. Some other just real simple meals that I like to prepare with the batch cooking, go back to the rice idea. I often make what I call a poor man's poke bowl, where I take cooked rice, I throw in a can of tuna fish, I throw in some mayo, some avocado, whatever other add-ons you want, and boom, again, that takes about 5 minutes You can take it on the go with you. You can eat it kind of wherever you want, and it's going to hit your nutritious needs, and it's just going to taste good. It's going to satisfy you. Another one that I like to do with ground turkey is doing a ground turkey quesadilla. You know, you already have tortillas in your fridge. You made the ground turkey from a few nights before, right? Just slap it together, throw some cheese on there, throw a little bit of salt on there, and boom. Again, that takes about 5, maybe 10 minutes to prepare, but you wouldn't have been able to have it if you didn't have the staple food groups already made. So that's kind of the take-home message. This kind of goes in and just to preparing your week, thinking ahead of time so that when, you know, life is lifing, you're not going to go to the takeout. You're not going to go to Uber Eats. You're going to have reliable staple foods that help you reach your goals already prepared in your fridge. And from there, you can put basic, simple meals together.